Good morning and welcome to Newswatch Today. I'm Michael Gibson.
And I'm Elizabeth Fry. Coming up, a recap of the first presidential debate.
We'll also take a look at Evangel's Faith and Science Conference.
Brian's here with your forecast, and Brock has the latest with your sports news. This is Newswatch Today. We begin this morning with Brian, who's here with an update on our current weather conditions. Brian, is it fall out there yet?
You know, I'm happy to say it is fall. We've first passed the autumn equinox, and now we're actually moving into some fall temperatures. It's currently very fair outside, high 40s right now, and this is lower temperatures that I've seen since we've gotten here. It's very fair, 49 degrees, humidity at 90%, northwest wind of 7 miles an hour. Humidity is very high, but it doesn't feel, you know, that typical humid weather outside because the temperature is so low. So I think we're officially moving into fall.
Brian, that was a big word that you used at the start of that forecast.
What, autumn equinox?
What does that even mean?
That means the first day of fall there, Michael.
Wow.
Really
cool.
proud of you, Brian. Really
Thank you
proud
very
of
much. Expanding my diction and vocabulary.
Well, I look forward to your more vocabulary and your forecast a little bit later. But first, it was game on in New York Monday night as Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Hillary Clinton faced off at Hofstra University for the first debate in a race that has seen tightening polls. The nominees for president made their case to the more than 80 million voters watching. That's a new record in the 60-year history of televised presidential debates. And no controversial topic was left out. Trump hit Clinton hard with issues like her email scandal, but she fought back by bringing it up Trump's unwillingness to release his tax returns. Both candidates have butted heads also over race relations and law enforcement. The next time the candidates will face off is Sunday, October 9th at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri.
Wednesday evening, Evangel University had the opportunity to host the Dan Harley Quartet in concert. The four musicians wowed students with their talents on stage and during two master class sessions held during the day. The performers tote a variety of awards and accomplishments, including Grammy nominations and an induction into the Jazz Education Hall of Fame. A video of their recent performances can be viewed on their website. You know, Michael, what a great opportunity that Evangel has to host such an amazing group of artists.
Absolutely. I'm always so impressed by musicians because I'm not musical whatsoever.
Yeah, me either.
So it's always very
It's
impressive.
easy to impress me, honestly, because I have no idea what's going on.
That's right. And up next, a look at Evangel's Faith and Science Conference.
We'll be right back.
You can't keep true faith inside a church. You can't confine it to a few hours, days, or weeks. You can't share it with some people and hide it from others. You can't leave it on the side of the road to come back for it when you think you will need it later. True faith will shine through in everything you do, wherever you are, and everything you do will improve because of it, because everything we do grows out of it. Evangel University.
Evangel University hosted a large conference that drew in the science and faith community. Ryan Leathers has the story.
Are some people destined to sin because of their biological tendencies? This was a question Evangel University attempted to answer when they hosted the Biology of Sin conference. The conference was held on Evangel's campus from September 23rd through the 24th. Several leading speakers in the philosophy, theology, and science fields brought their perspective on this controversial topic. Evangel's marketing team sat down with the keynote speaker, Dr. Stephen C. Meyer, who spoke in chapel and challenged students' thought process.
I think it's really great for students to pursue these deep questions, philosophical questions, worldview questions, questions about human, biological, cosmological origins in a kind of an open and frame of mind, and not to be too tense about the whole approach to the debate.
On Friday the 23rd, classes were canceled for students on campus to encourage them to attend the free pre-conference seminars that took place that day. Matt Simmons, a senior at Evangel, attended the conference and appreciated the connections drawn between science and faith.
To know that, to have the intellectualism to say, it's not just, hey, get saved and this is the book, but that science backs it up and that biology backs it up and that, physics backs it up.
Over 200 people registered for the full conference that took place Friday evening and all day Saturday. The Biology of Sin conference was well received and enlightened all those who attended. This was just another example of Evangel's commitment to combining education and faith. Be on the lookout for information about the Faith and Science 2017 conference. Reporting for Newswatch Today, I'm Ryan Leathers.
Thanks, Ryan. Some of those conferences were really packed, and it was a great success here at Evangel, and can't wait for next year's conference. And now we have Michael standing by with a special guest. Michael?
Thanks, Liz. Joining me this morning is Mitchell Easter to talk about Evangel's admission process. Welcome to the show this morning, Mitchell.
It's really good to be here. Thanks.
You know, I'm really excited to talk to you because every single semester we always talk from somebody from the admissions department, because one way or another, every single person in this room and every single person in this school found their way to Evangel, and so it's always interesting to hear the process on how that takes place. So what is your main focus when recruiting students to come to Evangel?
Well, I think our main focus is offering for instance, if we were a donut shop and if we were selling donuts, we'd want to have good donuts or else we wouldn't get any customers, right? So I think in the same way, we want to offer something that students want. And Evangel offers that. We have a really good product. Our programs are top of the line. The academic rigor is, in my opinion, out of this world. We have a 98% placement rate within the first 6 months of graduation for all of our graduates. That's pretty incredible. Not to mention the spiritual life that this institution offers. I think more than just being transformed academically, students find that by the time they graduate, they've been transformed spiritually. And that's something that's really important to us. And it's not a matter of where can we find students, it's just basically telling people who we are and what we offer, and that's how we get our students. You know, that's what we're looking for, is the students who are interested in what we offer, because what we offer is really good.
It really is, and as a student, I can attest to that. And Mitchell, as a admissions counselor, you have to do a lot of traveling around the country, a lot of talking with prospective students. What does that look like?
Well, there's a lot of traveling. We have a team, and it's comprised of undergraduate admissions counselors. We have adult studies admissions counselors. We have graduate admissions counselors, and we have admissions counselors for the Assemblies of God Theological Seminary as well. So we're a big team, and we love each other. We're all professionals working in this particular field, and even though we have different areas, we go to different regions recruiting and things like that at particular events. So based upon what program, or shall I say, whether you're undergraduate, whether you're graduate, seminary, adult studies, those trips are going to look different. So for the undergraduate side, we do NatCap, and it's the national, it's basically a national association of Christian colleges. We go to a lot of those. We go to district councils. We go to youth conventions all around the country. And basically, we're just there to, again, share what we offer here at Evangel University. And it's in the field where we get a lot of those prospective students who say, oh, I've heard about Evangel, and I'm really interested. And then we meet the students who have never heard about us for one reason or the other, and we're able to just plug in and build those relationships. And most of the time after those conversations, they're really interested, because again, you know, what we offer is a really good thing.
That's great, and that kind of brings me to my next question, which is, of all the students here, because you know we have a great diversity of people here at Evangel, where do some students come from? Like for me personally, I grew up in the Ozarks, so I knew about Evangel. But what about some other students from around the country?
Yeah, I mean, we have students from the East Coast, we have students from the West Coast, but actually this last enrollment cycle, we have had the largest international enrollment for the freshman class that we've ever had at Evangel University. And personally, I'm a graduate of Evangel University in 2012, and I came from Malawi, Africa. So I was a missionary kid. I grew up in Malawi, and I came back to the States for college, and Evangel University was the place that I chose to go to school. So even though I'm a U.S. citizen, I came from overseas, and we see that a lot, and we're seeing it more and more as we just get the word out there. And we're growing as a university. There's a lot of cool things happening, not only with the academic programs, but of course with the Momentum campaign. And so I think that's really attractive. and we're getting students from all over the United States of America, like I said, the East and West Coast, and then we're getting those international students, which really adds an interesting dynamic to the culture of this institution. And as we continue to grow, I'm very excited to see where we're going.
I think it brings a great part of Evangel. You mentioned a little bit about the Momentum campaign. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the Momentum campaign is full cycle. I mean, obviously we've done a lot, and the turf is down. We've actually hosted games on our new turf field, and there's several different phases of the campaign, and we have a lot of plans to not only build the turf field, of course, but there's renovation of the baseball complex, the softball complex, and I think way down the line, there's some other things that are in store as well that I'm particularly excited about.
I'm sure that also makes it exciting for students who are looking forward to coming to Evangel.
Yes, yes.
And prospective students, or the people that are watching who want to share the school with their friends and family, evangel.edu would be the best place to go?
www.evangel.edu. There's an application right on our homepage. It's a free application. A lot of institutions charge $25 to $75, but we really want to invest in our students. So go to www.evangel.edu, apply, and we'd love to build a relationship with our prospective students.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Mitchell, and thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah,
Liz and
thank you.
Brian, back to you.
Thanks, Michael. You know, Brian, I don't think a lot of people realize how much actually goes into that whole admissions process. That's a big deal. That is not an easy task.
It's a very big job. It's a big undertaking. There are a lot of great admissions counselors here at Evangel who really do care and take the time to invest into their students, which is awesome.
Which we're very appreciative of.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll have your full weather forecast, and we'll see what the weekend has in store for us. We'll be right back.
Campus where students encounter a living Christ.
Guys, we're living the best years of our lives at Evangel University. This year's gonna be the best one yet.
Monday evening, Springfield resident Carly Metzger wowed the judges on hit show The Voice. In an attempt to woo Metzger onto his team, Blake Shelton showed Springfield some love by giving both Bass Pro Shops and the Cardinals a shout out. Metzger ultimately picked Miley Cyrus as her coach, but she was impressed by Shelton's knowledge. Bass Pro did tweet at Shelton, however, saying that they appreciate the support and that they're Team Blake all the way. You know, Michael, too bad he didn't give Evangel a shout out.
I know.
While he was at it. I mean, we're right here. Might as well.
I know, but honestly, Springfield, a little bit of celebrity status there. It's pretty exciting.
It's pretty exciting for sure.
I know, right? But now our very own celebrity, Brian Abrucht, is standing by with our full check of the weather. Brian.
I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, I just call myself your friendly neighborhood weatherman. Thanks so much, guys. Let's take a look once again at the current conditions. It's very fair outside. We're finally moving into some fall weather, right around 49 degrees right now. Very fair. High humidity at 90%, but it's not really affecting the feel of the temperature outside just because the temperatures are a bit colder outside than normal. Today it's going to be nice and sunny. We're going to have some bright sunshine today, 70 degrees, beautiful fall day with a north wind of 7 to 11 miles an hour. So just a little bit of a breeze outside, but nothing too extreme to worry about today. For tonight, it's going to be mostly clear. The low is going to drop down right around to 51 degrees, right around 50 degrees. It's going to be pretty cold outside tonight, and the north wind is going to die down a little bit, and we're going to be right around 3 to 8 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at the satellite. You can see we don't have a lot of clouds in our area. We're just looking at a lot of sun right around our area in Missouri. Some of the clouds have pushed their way towards the northeast and making their way out towards the ocean. But for the time being, we're just worried about some beautiful sun that we're going to get in our area. As you can see, here's a bit of a closer look. Just a few little spurts of clouds here in Missouri, but for the most part, we're looking forward to bright and sunny days today and a couple days into the future. And the reason is because of a high pressure system that's making its way through our area. We have low pressure systems all throughout the United States, except for our area, which is a great blessing, and it's going to bring a lot of sun and warmer temperatures, warmer fall temperatures for the next couple days. And for the national highs for today, relatively most of the U.S. is very balanced. We can see that we're right around 70. Even places like Texas, Florida, and even California are getting 70s and 80s. 80s, and then the Northeast is getting temperatures like 60s. Rockies are getting 50s and 40s as well. So relatively balanced, and most of the areas are looking at the 60s and the 70s. Let's take a look at the 6-day forecast. We can see what the weekend has in store, and I'm happy to say we have nothing but sun for the next 6 days. There's no rain, any projected rain coming up these next 6 days. We just have sun, even looking forward to 80-degree temperatures on Monday. So just a little bit of summer coming in here over the weekend into next week, but for the most part, it's going to be some beautiful fall weather ahead of us. That's all I have at Weather Watch. Back to you.
Thanks, Brian. You know, Michael, it's getting a little chillier out there.
It is. I had to wear a long sleeve shirt yesterday.
That's something for Michael.
That's something for me, for sure.
Not his shorts and sandals, that's for sure.
That's right.
Well, coming up, learn how a drone was used to rescue a trapped hunter and his dog.
And Brock has details on your Evangel Crusaders, plus more sports news. We'll be right back.
How do we learn? We learn from study, practice, and concentration. We learn from falling down and from getting back up. We learn from those who have gone before us. We learn from each other. And we learn from looking inside ourselves. And as we learn to learn, we grasp more than just knowledge. We learn the wisdom to apply it. Because learning is more than discovering how to do what we do. It's also discovering why we do it. Evangel University.
More than 800 illegal immigrants from countries of concern were set for deportation were granted U.S. citizenship on Monday because the Department of Homeland Security didn't have their fingerprints on file. This comes at a rough time in American politics when illegal immigration is currently a major concern. And this isn't the first incident. Investigators found fingerprints missing from federal databases for as many as 315,000 immigrants with final deportation orders or who are fugitive criminals. The U.S. Border Control has insisted that they are doing everything in their power to quickly resolve the issue.
A simple hunting trip turned dangerous after a 65-year-old man and his dog wandered into swampy area. The man called 911 repeatedly for help after being unable to get out of the water. DNR conservation officers relied on the use of a drone to pinpoint the man's location due to the densely wooded area. Officers say that without the drone's help, they may not have been able to save the hunter's life. The man and his dog were then airlifted to safety and are in great condition. What a story, Michael.
What a story indeed. The fact that technology has come this far where we can do that kind of thing, that's incredible.
Honestly, it is. And good thing they had the drone because the helicopter would not have been able to see that. So that's really great that they were able to save his life.
That's true. That's a great story. And now Brock is here with more great stories about our sports news. Brock?
Thanks, Michael. Well, the celebration after the 59-13 routing of Culver Stockton a couple weeks ago was short-lived by the football team as they dropped their following game 21-10 to William Penn. Blake Woodard had another outstanding game in the backfield, throwing for 246 yards and a touchdown, but the Crusaders' only touchdown of the game. The Crusaders remain on the road this weekend when they travel to Lamoni, Iowa to take on Graceland at 2 o'clock. The volleyball team broke its 8-game winning streak in a 5-set heartbreaker to Missouri Valley on Tuesday night. The Crusaders went out to a 2-1 lead after a nail-biting 26-24 third-set win. But the momentum swung back to the Vikings as they took the final 2 sets, 25-20 and 15-13. Evangel continues its road trip this Saturday when they travel to William Penn for more Heart of America Conference action. First serve is at 7 o'clock. Well, we have a special volleyball player to showcase this week. Libero for the Evangel volleyball team, Allie Dunton-Moss, was named Heart of America Conference Defensive Player of the Week. This was announced Monday by the league office. A native of Rogersville, Missouri, Dunton-Moss averaged 5.72 digs per set last week as she racked up a total of 103 digs, leading the volleyball team to an 8-game winning streak. Dunton-Moss currently leads the conference in digs per match and ranks 3rd nationally in total digs. Congratulations, Allie, on your outstanding achievement. Both the men's and women's soccer teams remain winless at Coryell Field as they lost 4-1 and 7-1 to Missouri Valley, respectively, on Tuesday. The men took their game into the locker room at a 1-1 tie before giving up 3 goals in the second half, while the ladies let the Vikings ahead 2-0 early. It was only downhill from there. Both men and women dropped to 4-5 on the season, which is still a massive improvement from last year's winless seasons. In their next matchups, the soccer teams will be traveling up north to Lamoni, Iowa to take on Graceland. The women's game will start at 6 o'clock and the men's at 8 o'clock. Well, week 3 of NFL action certainly opened some eyes and set somewhat of a tone for what we can expect for the rest of the season. Here's what we learned in week 3. Carson Wentz is the real deal, looking like a seasoned veteran in the backfield. Wentz picked the Steelers' defense apart to the tune of 301 passing yards and 2 touchdowns last week. The Carolina Panthers' blip in week 1 was no accident as they lost their second game of the season to the Vikings, with MVP Cam Newton throwing 3 interceptions. By the way, the Vikings are 3-0 on their second-string quarterback and second-string running back, but are continuing to play dominating football on both sides of the ball. Lastly, once Tom Brady returns to the Patriots, they will be 3 times as scary as they are on their third-string quarterback. Brady, who is suspended for 4 games because of the Deflategate scandal, will be returning in week 5 against the Browns, taking over for a team that will most likely be 4-0 when he takes the helm. Elizabeth, Michael, back to you guys.
Thanks, Brock. When we return, we'll get a final look at Brian's forecast.
That's right, and we'll learn more about a little girl and what she sacrificed on her birthday for shelter animals. We'll be right back.
Did you know there's a place online that is home to Evangel University student media? Well, on CrusaderMedia.com, you can listen to KECC Radio Live, watch the most recent News Watch Today and sports update shows, as well as watch the past student-directed EU films, read the Lance student newspaper online, learn more about the Excalibur yearbook, read profiles on featured students, faculty, and staff, and even stay up to date with campus life by watching the hilarious EU Cribs dorm life videos and much more. Head over to CrusaderMedia.com today and stay up to date with life at Evangel University.
Peyton Burrows is not your typical 9-year-old. The young Mississippi resident decided that for her birthday this year, she didn't want a big party. Burrows instead asked her guests to donate money so that she could make a special delivery to the Southern Pines Animal Shelter. Raising over $120, the girl was able to buy an abundance of food and toys for the shelter's animals. Burrows says that for every birthday that comes around, she'll have the same request. What an amazing story, guys. How awesome is that?
That's so sweet. And,
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's really, really
For
cool.
a 9-year-old to have that kind of, I don't even know what the word would be,
Generosity?
but generosity, yeah, that's very impressive to say the least.
It is, absolutely.
And now we have Brian joining us for one last look at our weather forecast. Brian?
So for the 6-day forecast specifically, just keep in mind that we're going to see a lot of sun. I'm projecting all sun for the next 6 days. The only chance we have of any rain is next Wednesday, but that's 7 days. That's not 6 days, and we're in the 6-day forecast. But we can even expect temperatures up to 80 on Monday. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Get out, enjoy the sun, enjoy the beautiful fall weather. Fall is here. It is upon us.
It really is. Yeah, we were just talking earlier about how I had to wear a long sleeve shirt last night.
That's right. I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Did it shock you? Were you upset?
The cold was like, it was like I walked out and I was like, this is not happening.
Adjustments to your wardrobe, I guess.
Yeah.
He had to put away the sandals.
I did.
Put them away.
Sad moment.
Oh, well.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much. I'm Elizabeth Fry.
I'm Michael Gibson.
And I'm Brian Ebrecht. We'll see you next week.